Welcome to the Principality of Hutt River. I'm Prince Leonard, and this is Princess Shirley. We welcome you all. I am His Royal Highness Sovereign of the Principality of Hutt River Province. It is 75 square kilometres in size. It has a population residents of around a couple of hundred. We have around 13,000 citizens, but all over the world. It is also the same size as Andorra. Andorra's a little bit larger, but it has great mountains and a hydro plant. We're more usable land, so it's comparable. Or you can compare it with Hong Kong. Same size exactly. The only difference between here and Hong Kong, last time I checked, they do have, they're just a couple more people we have. 8 million more. But it is the second largest country on this continent, Australia.
Leonard Castley, having some 75 square kilometres of property, had a restriction imposed on his production. He wasn't happy with it, he fought it, he finally declared his secession from the West Australian government and finally from the nation's government. He declared his independence from Australia and decided that he'd plant as much wheat as he wanted to plant, and truthfully, he did it very successfully.
October, November 1969, had no intention of wanting to secede. I was very happy with what I was doing. I was copper mining, 80 flats in Perth, handling 1,200 families a year through it, farming, but I wasn't prepared to allow a government to ride us out of the industry and destroy a lifetime of work that had been done. And on principle, I did not appreciate what they were doing, and on principle, as well as necessity, I decided that we had to use the law, and the only thing I found to actually effectively do it was to secede.
If your economy is taken from you and there is a threat to the loss of the land, you're entitled to form a self-preservation government. So we took that action with the secession notice. Way back then, that was purely just a stance on our part to save our lands if they were going to be resumed. At least we had some fight in a court.
If anyone wants to know, has our secession succeeded? Well, we simply say we're still here, 39 years or so later.
My impression of the situation at that time was that the whole deal was a gimmick. It had no more status than a tea bag. No one seriously gives credibility to the claim that provinces such as Hutt River have any status as a nation.
I now call this meeting of the Hutt River Province Government to order. I would like to call on the Treasurer to make any reports that he has to make, please.
Well, I have one important subject information that I'd like to bring up at this meeting. It is a cheque received from the National Treasury of Western Australia, and it is paid to the National Treasury of Hutt River Province. I think that this in itself is a very good form of recognition, and I'd like to put it to the board.
Early on, there was many letters signed by various ministers, and they addressed them to the Sovereign of Hutt River. I understand from some politicians they thought that it would disappear, but it kept going and kept going. The Australian Taxation Department keep on trying to have a little argument with me. They're always testing out, trying to find a weak spot. And so just a while back, they said, right, we've got your name on our list still, so you've got to give us some taxation returns because you're on the list. I said, okay. And so I give them 10 years returns. I'm resident in the Principality of Hutt River, and I had no income within the Commonwealth of Australia, so income was nil. And they confirmed, no tax. That's that year, that year, that year, that year, that year, that year, that year. No tax, no tax, no tax. Because you're a non-resident of the Commonwealth of Australia. Well, this is a very nice map I got recently, a map of the world, and there's Australia. Now, the capital of Australia is actually Canberra. They forgot to put it on. Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane are very large cities. They forgot to put them on. Adelaide, Perth and Darwin, very large towns. They forgot to put them on. But they put Hutt River Province on. It's a very good map. It's a very good map.
If somewhere like Hutt River Province or Sealand, I think if some of these small places to create a map, how is that any different from a few centuries ago when the fledgling states were likewise creating their own maps saying, here's who we are, this is what's ours?
That's 40 odd years now that going back to the wheat quota days, we still do a little bit of farming side of it with sheep and cattle there mainly. At the moment there's probably 3,500, 4,000 sheep which sort of need looking after, water for them and so forth. Later on they've got shearing come in, so there's that aspect of it as well. There is still cropping on the property, but that is leased out to another farmer. He actually does the cropping program. We supply the land, he just like on a rental basis. There's no real jet set around the world like a lot of other princes do.
I'm Princess Shirley from the Hutt River Principality. I've been a princess since 1970 when the Principality seceded from Australia. And my duties are that I meet people when they arrive here, do some of the talking to people, visitors and that in the buildings, and it's a lot busier than being a farmer's wife.
Here's your visa and departure. There we are. And here's a silver fern, right through on all the pages. Okay. And here's your visa. Departing today? Okay. There we are. Good. And then we've got the new one. Okay. Now we're going to go. I do need one with this new artwork from my collection. Is that okay?
No, I need this.
I think you need it. And there's your herbs.
Thanking you.
Yeah,
How's that?
yes, perfect.
Okay.
And the postcard.
Okay, that's $3. Good. Put your hand on your hip like this. Your hand on your hip and one hand on top. One hand. There. Righto, now we're ready. Okay. There. Very good. Okay.
My name is Catherine, I'm from Germany. I'm making a tour, but on the way home back to Perth, we make this stop in this other little country, the Hutt River Province, I think it's called, and amazing, I didn't know that Australia had another country on its land, and we got our stamp and our passport, got some postcards to write home.
The reason why these states are probably not recognised is fundamentally they really don't have a legitimate capability of engaging with other states. Take, for example, the Hutt River Principality in Australia. It consists of so few people that it's impossible to see that it could interact with other states in the way that genuine states or real states do. I mean, there's just not a sufficient critical mass, if you like, for that function of statehood to be really taken seriously.
Diplomatic passport for the Principality of Hutt River, and there's all the details there. In here I have a diplomatic visa for the Republic of Deben, and also then another diplomatic one for the Ivory Coast. And this Ivory Coast one is actually issued to me at the request of the President of the Ivory Coast. Now, I never had any problems with my passport ever. And there's a display of our banknotes, 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, $1, $2. That's a display card, so they can pick them up, have a good look at them, both sides, and all those 5 are in little sets like this for them. This is a post office, So there's some of the stamps that are vital. The latest Christmas issue and a mixture down the end. The Australian government issued a notice to give us a hard time. So the Australian Post, under those instructions, give us a hard time, but it does go through. Yeah.
It's a hard line, but it's our own line, built with love and dedication. Self-assured is our small nation, one man's dream. Oh, independence. And God bless the Prince of the Hutt River province. God bless the man whose dream has come true. God bless this land where dreams can come true.
If the likes of the Principality of Hutt River had the same status as the United States, good, solid thinking people understand the confusion that would cause. People at the end, and the majority of them, will determine whether a micronation has genuine international nation status.